Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, I got my pickers in for all the big games come this weekend. This is week 7. We're going to pick the winners, the losers, and hopefully we'll be correct. We will see. But as usual, you know I'm not going to waste your time. We're going to get right on into this.
Engage.
All right, folks, got my group of pickers in here again for week 7. We're going to see how we roll this time. Last week sucked for all 3 of us. We all went 3-7, which is our first losing week for the, I guess, the whole year. It actually put me under 500, bringing great shame to my dojo. And Charlie Bob's barely above 500 now. I'm 28-29. He's 29-28. And Andy still got a solid lead, although he's coming back to the pack a little bit at 33-24. So this is against the spread, folks. It's not easy. Vegas is good. Anyway, let's get rolling on this, and let's start out with our first ball game that we're going to look at. Let's start out with Ohio State at Illinois at noon. Let's see. Ohio State's favored by 14.5, gentlemen, and it's at Illinois. Let's start out with Charlie Bob on this one. Who you got for Ohio State?
Fighting Illini.
Fighting Illini.
Yeah, yeah, I'm going to go with Ohio State on this one. What line's 14.5? I think Ohio State's they seem to be putting it together offensively a little bit. Sayin is, he's got a great completion percentage for no more than he's played in his career. So I think, and maybe I feel like they kind of had the training wheels on him for a little while. And I think they're giving him more of the playbook now, and seems like he's ready to go. So I'm going to go with Ohio State, giving up the 14.5.
All right, Andy.
I agree with that. Ohio State's rolling right now, and I still go back to Illinois getting thumped by Indiana like they did, and I think Ohio State's just that much better. That there's only 2 or 3 teams that you could say are the best teams in the country, and that's definitely one of them. So I'm going to take Ohio State to cover.
All right. Yeah, I had pre-picked Ohio State myself. After watching Illinois just get slaughtered by Indiana, that was the same point I was going to make. I just don't trust them. I don't trust Brett Bielema against a high-powered offense. Mm-hmm. I don't see any way they can stop Jeremiah Smith and some of those wide receivers. There's 5 stars everywhere. So even though it's at Illinois and 14.5, I wish it was 13.5 because I lost several last week by a point again. But, yeah, I'm going to take Ohio State in this one. All right, let's take a look here at Alabama at Mizzou. We've got Alabama minus 2.5 is all. So they're only favored by less than a field goal at Missouri. Missouri's 5-0, folks. Now, their wins are not monstrous. They beat Kansas and they beat South Carolina by 9. So they haven't played they've got a pretty easy schedule for an SEC schedule. So I'm going to go first here, and I'm going to take Bama. I'm trying to get away from so many emotional decisions, which is what I've been doing a lot of, which I'm sure I'll have some in this 10-pack. But I'm going to take Alabama in this one. Andy, what do you think?
I agree. This could be an interesting game. I think this could be closer than a lot of people think. It's an 11 o'clock local time start. Bama's on the road at Missouri. But I think Bama's got more talent all over the field. And I think that's an easy pick, taking them less than a field goal.
All right. Charlie Bob?
I agree with both of you. It is on the road, and it is an SEC opponent and a good one. And Missouri's quarterback's played good, but I think he's going to see more pressure than he's seen thus far. And it's less than a field goal. So yeah. I'm going to take Bama on that.
Okay. I figured y'all would on that one. All right, now we got to go into UCLA at Michigan State at noon. Michigan State is favored by 8.5 points. UCLA is coming off that huge win against Penn State that just shocked the world. I mean, literally UCLA was on the ground. 0-4, couldn't beat any teams at all, including the group of 5, group of 6. And then suddenly showed up against Penn State. Nico has the game of his life. He ran more than he threw. Mm-hmm. And they didn't have a spy on him at Penn State, which I don't understand. They got a $3 million defensive coordinator, and he couldn't figure that out. I think Michigan State will figure that out and put a spy on him. So I'm going to give up the 8.5 points and take Michigan State against UCLA. I think they'll figure out they can stop him running. It'd be one thing if he was a 4.3 40, but at 6'6", just put a safety out there in the middle of the linebacker crew and stop him from running. Anyway, let's go with Andy on this one. What do you think? Michigan State or UCLA?
Yeah, that was very surprising. That UCLA looked like a whole new team. Maybe they simplified things a little bit and kind of let Nico do his thing, which obviously his thing is running, and he did it well. But I don't know if they can do it 2 weeks in a row. Yeah, so I'm going to take. I just can't take UCLA right here. I got to take Michigan State to lay the points.
All right, Charlie Bob.
I'm going to go the opposite direction. I'm going to see if UCLA can maybe they found something, or maybe the coaching change. They just came in and, maybe they did just some basic things like Andy alluded to, just simplified things. And maybe that's helping Nico see it a little better. And I don't know, Michigan State's not that great when it's not like they're playing, a top 10 team or anything. So because it's over a touchdown, I'm going to take UCLA and take those points.
Yeah, one thing that UCLA won't have going for them, they're not going to surprise anybody this week. I think Penn State went in there thinking, well, we'll just roll the football out there. We're hurting after losing that game at Oregon. Maybe we'll just kind of phone it in. Mm-hmm. And UCLA had another thing coming. All right, next ball game. This is kind of a big one here. All right, Oklahoma at Texas at 3:30. We've got Texas minus only 1.5 points, and it's at Texas. Boy, this team has really come down since they were ranked number 1 in preseason. Arch Manning is struggling terribly, but it's at Texas. So let's start out with Charlie Bob this time. What do you think, Oklahoma or Texas? Now, remember, John Mateer is not going to be in this game most likely.
Yeah, they're playing a little cat and mouse game with him this week. They're having closed practices, and so they're trying to kind of make you think that maybe Mateer's going to play, and because of that, I think he's not going to play, because I think they're kind of just playing a game here. But and either way, they played good without him. So I think, and this is one of those games that has it's not the home field advantage. It's not like 90-10%. It's more like maybe a little more like 60-40 in this game. So I think the Oklahoma's defense is just really good. And I think Texas's offense is not so good, at least hadn't shown it. So I'm going to go with Oklahoma and take the points, the 1.5.
All right, so you're going with Oklahoma. All right, Andy?
I believe this is a neutral site game, isn't it?
I was going to say there's something about like a Red River type thing.
Red River rivalry, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it's a neutral site game, but there was a report yesterday that Mateer is going to try to play, and he's been practicing, but then again, who knows? I can't imagine a quarterback having surgery on his throwing hand a few weeks ago and then be ready to go this quick. But I don't want to give up on Arch just yet. Both defenses are really good. I think the under is the play here, really. But I'm going to give Texas one more shot, and I'm going to go with Texas because even if Mateer does play, I don't think he'll be effective. So give me Texas here.
All right, yeah, the Oklahoma-Texas game is played in the Cotton Bowl Stadium in Dallas, Texas. It's a neutral site. So I guess both sides get 50% of the tickets. Yeah. So, yeah, you're right, the Red River Showdown. So that changes things a little bit. Texas is only favored by a point. Now, boy, if John Mateer was playing, of course, it'd be totally different. I know Mateer's not going to play. I just can't imagine he would go out there early after surgery on his hand, his throwing hand of all things.
How effective could he be if he does,
Yeah, it's he'd be protecting it. He can't play his normal game.
Yeah.
Well, even if he's ready, they may just hold him out. If the game's going okay, why play him? And, if they may just say, look, we'll throw you in, we'll put you in if we get desperate and we can't move the ball at all.
This is one I want to take Oklahoma, but Texas's back is against the wall. They don't have Mateer. I'm going to take Texas on this one and think that they turn this thing around a little bit and they feel inspired and feel a little bit jaded, because if they lose this game, it's gone. The year's over for them, because if they're not in the playoff, they don't give a crap. Yeah. So everything's on the line. This is a playoff game for them. So I'm going to take Texas based on the emotion. Let's see, Indiana at Oregon. This is a big game. Both teams are undefeated, and it's at Oregon. That's the big deal, and it's a 7.5-point favorite for Oregon that's that extra point there. If it's 6.5, it'd be easy. Let me start out with this. I'm going to take Oregon. I just think there's too much talent there. Indiana's a good team, but I don't think they're as good as Oregon, and it's hard to win at Oregon. Very difficult.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give up the points and take Oregon. Andy, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think Indiana's going to get a little dose of reality this week. They're a very good football team, but like you said, it's a very tough place to play out there. I just think Oregon's going to be too much for them offensively. I don't think Indiana's going to be able to slow them down.
Okay. Charlie Bob?
Yeah, 7.5 just not enough to take Indiana on the road at Oregon. So I'm going with Oregon as well.
All right. Now we're going to get into a game that Andy and I care about quite a bit. We got Arkansas at Tennessee. Bobby Petrino taking over the team. Of course, he was the coach in waiting as far as I think we're all concerned. We all knew that was going to happen eventually. Let's see. Let me pull this down here so it quits acting up. All right. Tennessee's given up 11.5. Quite a few points there. Arkansas has a great quarterback, Talon Green, who can run like the wind. He's got a good arm. We have struggled against him. Everybody's kind of struggled against that offense. Arkansas has played well on that side of the ball. Their defense has been tragic. They're the worst in the SEC. And Tennessee's strong on offense. We do not believe Jermod McCoy is going to play at cornerback for us, but we are picking up David Hobbs, the 5-star defensive tackle. We've got Jackson Moy back. I'm going to take Tennessee and give up the 11.5, but this could be a tricky game because you know what happens when you have a new coach. All of a sudden people get excited. And Arkansas, even they got killed by Notre Dame, they could have been 4-0. So, Andy, let's go to you. What do you think about this game?
Arkansas scares me a little bit on offense. I think they're going to be able to score a little bit, and they're going to have some big plays. But I think Tennessee can score 50-plus if they want to. I really do. And Heupel's good at home. He doesn't lose it at home unless it's Georgia. And you got the revenge factor from last year, and that's on Heupel's. That's on his mind. He doesn't forget about things like that.
On proverb that tells us revenge is a dish that is best served cold. It is very cold in space.
So I think the over's the play for sure, but I think Tennessee will roll in this one.
All right, CB?
Yeah, I kind of agree with all that. I think the first quarter over may be for sure the play because Tennessee, I see them coming out hot again, kind of like they did against Georgia. Heupel's good at drawing up that first 15 plays, and so I think that could result in some points pretty quick. Tennessee may be covering at the end of the first quarter. It wouldn't surprise me. So I'm going to take the Vols.
All right. Yeah, it's just a matter of stopping Talon Green. If they stop him, they're fine. If they don't, this could be a very interesting ball game.
End up being a shootout.
Yeah, it could be. Very much be one. All right, let me pull up the next one. We got Florida at Texas A&M. This is a 7:00 game, so it's a night game in Texas. Texas is favored by 7.5. Let's see here. Florida's coming off the win against Texas. Arch Manning looked like crap in that game. And DJ looked good, and he's definitely injured. He's got a foot problem, so he's not running, but he threw the ball well. I'm going to take Texas A&M in this. I think they're for real this year. They've had the talent for years. It's just a matter of finally getting it going. I don't think Florida's going to play well outside of the swamp, so I'm going to take Texas A&M. I'm going to give up that 7.5. I wish it was 6.5. Andy, what do you think?
I agree with that. Florida surprised a lot of people last week. They played very well, and they have a great defense. They've played great on defense all year. But that's just a different animal going on the road, especially that place. And A&M's playing really well. I like A&M.
All right. Charlie Bob?
Yeah, I think A&M's defense has proven to be pretty great against, everything, against the run and the pass and everything. They've they've done a good job just containing people. And like you said, DJ's not gonna. I don't think he's going to get away and run for 150 yards or anything like that. I don't even know if he can. So with that limitation on Florida's offense and being on the road, I think Texas A&M plays good at home, and if they get a little momentum, this thing could get ugly.
Yeah, it's hard to beat them there. They have they have like close to 110,000 people in there.
Yeah.
They got the 12th man and all that, so could be difficult for Florida. And Billy, they don't know what to do with Billy down there. They're not even happy that they won that game. I mean, they'll take it that they beat Texas, but it makes them kind of sad because they know they need to get rid of Billy. All right, let me move on to the next one here, the Michigan USC game here. Whoop, there we go. All right, we got Michigan at USC 7:30. USC's favored by 2.5. This is a tough one for me because I'm emotionally compromised on this one, as usual. I'm going to go ahead and take USC because I cannot root for Michigan and their sign-stealing crap.
The sign stealer guy.
And what they have done and theoretically did to my Tennessee Vols. So I'm picking against Michigan. Don't like them and don't want them to win anything. Andy, what do you think?
Michigan has to go across the country, fly across the country and play at USC, and that's got to be tough on anybody. And Michigan, they didn't play particularly well last week. I know that they didn't. I think we picked them to cover, and they didn't. So I think I like USC less than a field goal here.
All right, Charlie Bob.
Michigan just hasn't been able to take the reins off of the quarterback they've got. They've been afraid to give him enough plays and some things to do. They've kept him pretty much just handing the ball off a lot, doing some basic plays. They really haven't. I mean, they've got. He seems to be a great athlete, but they're not letting him do much. So I feel like they're either going to have to start doing that if they want to beat a team like USC on the road. But I don't think they're going to. I don't know if this coach really knows how. And so I don't know if he'll even be a head coach next year. So I'm going with USC as well.
Yeah, that true freshman quarterback they've got is just he throws it too hard. I mean, he could be 5 feet from a guy, and he'll throw it like he's throwing a 50-yard bomb. I've seen that before. Mm-hmm. Those guys don't move the ball well. They just don't. They impress people in practice, but doesn't translate real well. So anyway, I agree with all. I think we're on the right pace there. Anyway, all right, let's move on to the next one here. This will be one Charlie Bob will be caring about. Georgia at Alabama at 7:30.
Auburn.
Oh, did I say? Yeah, Georgia at Auburn at 7:30. That's blasphemy.
Yeah.
And that's a big game for Hugh Freeze. A very big game for Hugh Freeze. He is spot on the hot seat, if you could be any hotter. Georgia is looking good this year, but not great. We had them here, and then Alabama beat them. It's Georgia minus 3.5. I don't trust that quarterback situation with Hugh Freeze. I think got a fine defense, but I just didn't like that choice. And I'm going to have to go with Georgia. I think they're the more complete team. You just can't be one-sided. You can't be a defensive team that can't score points very much. So I'm going to have to go with Georgia. Andy, what do you think?
I'm actually going to take the Tigers here at home. Yeah, they're getting 3.5. I think that's a special place to play down there. A tricky place to win. And Georgia's vulnerable, and I think we've seen that. I think Auburn's due one.
All right.
So I pick Auburn to win outright.
To win outright, okay. Yep. Well, 3.5. All right, Charlie Bob, this is your team. What do you think?
Well, we got this is a critical game, like you said, and the reason he's so on the hot seat. If you had told everybody, okay, after that you're playing Texas A&M on the road, and who else they play? Oklahoma on the road, and Georgia, which before the season everybody thought Georgia was maybe the number one team in the country, and everybody, all the people picking Auburn's win-loss total for the year, they were all putting these 3 losses in. And but they thought they had a easier back end of the schedule. But it turned out that back in the schedule with Missouri and Vandy and people like that, I mean, it's no cakewalk. So Auburn's going to need to get one of these. It's the way they've lost, too. It's just been, like you said, ineffective quarterback play and just the inability to move the ball down the field. So I think they've got to turn it loose at some point. And maybe at home against Georgia, they're kind of like, you know what, nobody's picking us to win. Let's go. Let's let it go here. So I'm going to pick the Tigers. I agree with Andy. I think maybe they're due one. And it's a critical game for Hugh Freeze. He is probably that hot seat is going to get really hot especially if he loses bad in Georgia.
Well, his buyout's only about what, $12 million after this year?
No, I think it's like 17.
Oh, is it 17? God.
Yeah.
Well, that hasn't stopped Auburn before. They don't mind.
No, they like to have a couple of coaches on that doesn't work for the school. They're on the payroll.
I thought they were going to wind up with Lane there for a while, but that just didn't transpire. Was that on Lane? I think Lane kind of creaked him, didn't he?
Yeah, his daughter sent him a video of how much she loved it at Ole Miss and all this stuff. And I think he was going to Auburn. I think he made a decision. And she sent him the video, and he backed out. I think it was a done deal at one point, or really, really close. I think he had told the family.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can understand it.
Well, rumor is CB ran into John Gruden at the gym down here in Sevierville and gave him a War Eagle and high-fived him. So, I mean, take that for what it's worth.
That is true.
That would be an interesting hire right there now, guys.
Rumors are back.
Yeah.
Gruden. Well, it's worked out so good for Bill Belichick bringing in a professional coach. I just got done doing a show on that. I will launch it later today. Oh, that is a disaster down there. That's the tricky part. Even though Gruden's got a name, it's hard to go from pro to college and then college to pro. It just is.
Well, it's not so big a jump nowadays because it's almost like you got salary cap, you got you got double the roster that you have in NFL. But a lot of the way it all works is very similar these days. With the transfer portal, that's free agency, and
here's what I will say about that. If there was going to be a coach that could get to college players and get them motivated, I guess Gruden could. Now, you're going to take some backlash because of some of his emails and all the pie. Now, I don't talk politics on here or any of that type of stuff, but there'd be some backlash at the university level. But like I said, he could probably get those guys motivated, and he would get you a quarterback. He'd go find one. But anyway, I don't want to spend too much on that one. Let's see. Let's add to the stage here. South Carolina at LSU is our final game to go over. LSU's given up 9.5. It's at night. Everybody's going to be fortified beyond belief down there in Louisiana land. You know how they love a night game. It's going to be wild.
You picked up some bootleg liquor. Where did you get the liquor? Where did you get the liquor?
South Carolina, that's a lot of points, though. A lot of points. I got to be careful with South Carolina, but I'm going to take that 9.5, and I don't think they're going to win the game, but I could see them losing by 7. So I'm going to take the 9.5 points, even though it's at night, because LSU's offense hasn't looked that good to me, even though their defense has improved. I'm just going to assume Lenore's is going to have a decent day or night and keep them in the game close enough to where I cover that spread. So, Andy, what do you think?
I'm gonna take LSU at home. You got to think Nussmeier's gonna get it together here pretty soon. Rumor is he's been playing hurt as well, but that's just too tough to play down there on the road. And South Carolina's not that good. They're really not. So I think LSU can cover that. I'll take the Tigers.
All right, Charlie Bob.
I'm kind of leaning your way, John. The night game in the SEC. October game should be a great environment down there. But the thing that I keep kind of going back to is Sellers almost flourishes when the protection breaks down. Yeah. And that's what I feel like is going to happen. I think you might see a lot of those. Well, he's back to pass, and it's 3rd and 18, and oh gosh, here he goes running, and he gets the first down. Those kind of things that are just crazy, and they happen in those kind of environments. And he's the type of quarterback that can keep you in it long enough to maybe kick a field goal or something. And you're getting 9.5 points. That's just a lot. I see it maybe being closer than that spread. And it wouldn't surprise me if the Gamecocks didn't come out of there with a win.
Okay, so you're taking South Carolina.
Mhm.
All right. Well, all right, folks, that's our picks for week 7. Hopefully we have a better week than we did last week. It's our first bad week we've had, and we'll see. It's getting tougher as we go further in the season. These Vegas folks, they know what they're doing, and once they get things kind of homed in, it gets difficult. So we will find out. I'm trying not to be such an emotionally compromised picker, but I struggle with some of these teams.
How's that working out for you?
Not good. Not good.
You know better to talk to me like that when I'm hurting, Linda.
All right, there's your week 7 picks. Hopefully we'll have a good weekend. My Tennessee Vols hopefully will get a victory over Arkansas and Bobby Petrino. Rum, rum. Anyway, if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Let's me know continue to cover all these big college sports stories. If you've not subscribed, boom, hit that button right there. Won't cost you a dime. Help you get my videos. And right over here is most recent video YouTube. Thanks, you'll enjoy. We'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.